I know this is hard for you, but winter is coming. We know what's coming with it. We can't face it alone.
Alright, so the weather is changing and very soon winter will be here. Now I don't know about you, but there's just this feeling of having to pour a glass to match something delicious to eat and having a good movie to go with it. There's something about that feeling that can't be explained enough. With that said, every season has its own ambience and creates an atmosphere that enhances our mood for certain movies. Today I want to go through a list of really good movies to watch in the winter. Beginning with Predestination. Now this is a movie you're gonna wanna give your full attention to, starring Ethan Hawke. This is a movie about an agent who travels through time to prevent a criminal from committing an attack that kills so many people. You're going to want to follow the thread in the movie. You'll like where it takes you in the end. Next, we have The Proposal. This is a movie starring Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock. It's about an assistant and his boss who faces deportation and how she gets to know him, all the while trying not to get deported. It's a very interesting movie, and if you're a patient movie fan, you'll enjoy it. Next up is Deja Vu. Now, on a twist from Predestination, this is a movie starring Denzel Washington about an agent who is on a hunt to capture a terrorist responsible for a ferry bombing that kills many. It's a time travel movie that would show you the terrorist moves all the way up to the act. Very interesting. Next, we have The Joker. Now, this is one psychological thriller that will leave you questioning if to feel sorry for who the Joker becomes, be in support of the all-known villain, or understanding of the Joker's story. Starring Joaquin Phoenix, Joker makes you get into the mind of the supervillain who, failure after failure to fit in, begins a slow descent into insanity, transforming into the mastermind known as the Joker. For something exciting, we have Nightcrawler, starring Jake Gyllenhaal. Small-time thief ends up finding himself a new career as a news cameraman. When he realizes crimes aren't as newsworthy, he begins to arrange for newsworthy situations to film. A very good crime thriller for a frosty winter day to enjoy. Up next, we have The Life of Pi, a very exciting adventure movie about survival, being lost and finding oneself. Starring Suraj Sharma, this movie tells of a family that decides to sell their zoo and relocate. Met with tragedy at sea, their teenage son manages to survive aboard a lifeboat. With days turning into weeks and months, learning he's on the lifeboat with a tiger will make you hold tight to your seat in this adventure. Next up is Titanic. A very epic telling of the Titanic, which has been said to be the ship of dreams in its time. A ship that carried over 1,500 people to their deaths in the year 1912. This movie stars Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet, a story about class divide and finding love against all odds. Makes for a good winter movie watch. If you've ever seen this movie, it's one you can watch again and still find new missed parts to enjoy. Let's take a quick break. If you're enjoying these recommendations, please remember to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Now we have What Happened to Monday, also known as Seven Sisters, depending on where you are. It's a real must-watch winter movie based in a dystopian world where families are allowed only one child due to overpopulation. Identical septuplets try to avoid a governmental execution and infighting while investigating the disappearance of one of their own. A very interesting movie to see. Up next is Replicas, starring Keanu Reeves. This movie is a sci-fi telling of a bright and brilliant neuroscientist who loses his wife, son, and 2 daughters in a very tragic car accident. It's a movie about memories, cloning, and experimentation that spirals out of control. A really interesting movie if you enjoy movies about rewriting tragedy. Now another great movie for winter is In Time, starring Justin Timberlake. This is a movie about a poor man living in a future where time is money, where the wealthy are able to live forever. Yet this poor man is left with only a day's worth of time on his clock. He then goes on to save a time thief where he receives the gift of a century. This draws the attention of the authorities. A thrilling and exciting movie that will keep you watching and rooting for the underdog. Now we have a favorite of mine, Old Boy. Spike Lee directed, remake of a Korean 2003 action thriller. This movie starring Josh Brolin is set in 1993 about an alcoholic advertising executive who gets drunk after losing a major account, passes out, but before passing out, sees a woman with a yellow umbrella, only to wake up locked and trapped all alone in a hotel room. This is a must-see movie, full of enjoyable turns. This movie will make for excellent entertainment this winter. Now what do we have next? We have Definitely Maybe. This, another Ryan Reynolds movie, is a mostly overlooked movie, but a good one. Set in New York City in the 90s, this movie is about a political consultant who tries to help his 11-year-old daughter understand his pending divorce to her mother by telling her a story all about his past romantic relationships and how he ended up marrying her mother. A very strong story that will refresh your interest, Hollywood romantic comedies. Now we have Prisoners, a very good movie starring Hugh Jackman, Viola Davis, Terrence Howard, another Jake Gyllenhaal movie. This movie is all about the kidnapping of 2 young girls in Pennsylvania. Not a true story, but following it will feel like it. All about the search for the suspected kidnapper by the police. After an arrest and release by the police, the father of one of the girls takes matters into his own hands. Speaking of movies to watch in the winter, next we have Groundhog Day, starring Bill Murray. This is a movie about a pessimistic weather reporter who finds himself reliving the same day over and over again, unexplained, when he goes to a small town to film a report about their yearly Groundhog Day. This is a movie that's spurred off in Hollywood, more movies and TV shows with people reliving the same day, if you know those kind of movies. Last but not least, we have the movie Saving Mr. Banks, starring Tom Hanks and Emma Thompson. This movie is about Walt Disney's 20-year effort to get the rights to Mary Poppins from the creator P.L. Travers, who did not want her beloved characters be lost in the world of Hollywood. But when a book stops selling and she ends up being in need of money, she slowly begins to consider Disney's proposition, another must-watch. And for our very last movie to see this winter, we have Snowpiercer, a movie starring Chris Evans, set in the second ice age. A future where a failed climate change experiment killed all life except for a lucky few who boarded the Snowpiercer, a train that travels around the globe. This is another uprising movie about the class divide, and you will really enjoy the ride. If you haven't already, please remember to subscribe to this channel if you enjoy the content. Like and comment, and I'll continue to bring you more and more enjoyable content. Till then, see you.